Hello from isolation. I'm Karen Bliss. I'm the Canadian correspondent for Billboard, but right now I don't have much work because of the coronavirus pandemic. So there's a lot of budget cuts in my world, as there are, I'm sure, in many different industries. So thank you to Friends of Canadian Broadcasting for letting me pursue this story that I find super cool and really exciting. And under normal circumstances, I'm sure that many major outlets would be covering this. So I'm going to introduce Noble Musa. He is a partner and the VP of Microforum, which is a vinyl manufacturing plant primarily. And what they've done is retooled their facility, this 60,000 square foot facility, into the manufacture of personal protective equipment, namely face masks. So Noble, that is noble. I'm sure I'm not the first person to say that to you, but I think it's fantastic what you're doing. Did I get all that correct?
Perfect. And I want to thank you, Karen, for having us on this video interview. I do wish I had a haircut before. I wish I was able to get one, but we carry on. Carry on.
So, well, first of all, when it was officially a pandemic and our industry, the music industry, was looking like it was decimated, at least until next year, when did the wheels start turning? When did you think, you know, I better do something and I want to do something that will help?
Actually, the catalyst was actually the governments. The federal and provincial governments sent out an urgent plea to manufacturers asking for help because there's a shortage of PPE for frontline workers. And that's when we got together as a team and said, how can we help? What can we do? Can we, we have our expertise in plastic manufacturing, and that's when we came up with the an initiative at first to retool and start cranking out PPE. The first item that we decided to manufacture was face shields because we have the plastic on hand, we have the expertise in the tooling. So we decided to tackle that first, and so we had to review the guidelines from Health Canada on what constitutes a medical face shield. And then we put together a design based on those guidelines, and then it took some retooling and die making and preparation, and also bringing in some components that we didn't have, such as the elastic bands and the foam component of the shield. And then the process moved on to licensing. So it took about, I'd say, 3 weeks on the actual design of the prototype, and then another 2 weeks for the licensing to achieve a medical class 1 license through Health Canada's what they call IO process, or interim order, which was brought about for this purpose to help expedite the licensing during these emergency times. And now our product is helping out. It's protecting frontline workers. Such as medical clinics, radiology, they were in desperate need. Even dental offices, some of them do surgeries, emergency surgeries. They were in desperate need. They had a lack of supplies, and optometrists too. So I mean, our product is helping out, and we're really glad we went down that route. I mean, it was definitely a challenging year.
So you didn't have to lay anyone off?
No, yeah, actually, a lot of it did affect us in many ways. And I think a lot of our employees are actually very happy because the office workers are working remotely now. So I think in terms of frontline staff, we've moved everything to working remote. We've had to limit our visitors. We had to add sanitation stations for everybody else, but we managed to keep the bulk of our workforce going. So we're very proud of that.
Right. So I know there aren't too many vinyl manufacturing plants in Canada. You're in Toronto. Have you talked to other plants to see, kind of encourage them to do the same thing?
We haven't been in touch with anybody else with regards to this, but I do know that, I mean, in terms of, vinyl manufacturing, we are the largest in Canada. So we have more in terms of capabilities, more broader capabilities than maybe some of the smaller plants. I mean, in terms of capacity here, yeah, 60,000 square foot facility, but we also manufacture 6,000 records a day. And also on the CD, DVD, Blu-ray side, we can manufacture 150,000 optical discs a day as well. So in terms of just sheer volume and also the types of processes that we do in-house allows us a little bit more flexibility there.
Okay, so are you still manufacturing vinyl?
Yeah, we're actually still, there are certain processes that you can do that, for example, the lacquer cutting, order entry, things like that, where it's done remotely. So yeah, we are still in the
So it's not like you change one for another.
No. We're still.
Okay, that's what I
working.
actually didn't know. I thought perhaps like you're no longer even manufacturing vinyl at this present time, and that you have to go back to it. I didn't realize.
No, we're still working on both. And actually, on the CD DVD front, our operation is actually essential because we actually supply optical media to medical imaging clinics, radiology. So we've had some of those contacts too from the CD DVD size, where they actually record the radiology exams onto a DVD or CD to be taken either by the patient or the doctor.
What do you think is going to happen with the music industry? What do you think the future holds?
Yeah, I call it the COVID cancellations, all the shows, all the events. I mean, we had conferences booked. We had, I mean, it's just, it's unreal. It almost doesn't feel real. But anyway, it's a new normal. And we're working through it, and we're still developing products. There's more products that we're working on, and we just we carry on, and we hope that that things turn around quickly and people start attending shows, and we're all missing it, that's for sure.
I'm actually seeing some friends in the music industry who get this vinyl subscription. I don't know how often. I think it's monthly. So, they're doing the unboxing like the teenagers do, and they're super excited to get their vinyl. So, I'm sure there's a lot of artists. They're still releasing albums. They'll still want vinyl. We're still working old-fashioned way in the mail, right?
Yeah, we're still working hard, and one thing to remind everybody that's watching is support your favorite artists. I mean, music is getting us through these tough times, so it's more important than ever now to really buy the merch and the music and the vinyl and all the products that the artists have to offer. It's really important.
So thank you so much. Noble, Musa from Microforum, check them out. I'm Karen Bliss. Thank you so much to Friends of Canadian Broadcasting for letting me do this and for sharing your story. It's very cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.